There's a difference between being tired, getting tired, and having been tired. Most learners only know one version and use it for everything. That's why sentences sometimes feel flat even when the grammar is correct. Today, we fix that. Welcome back to English Speakology. This is day 5, and just to keep the thread going, back on day 1, we started with something simple, introducing yourself in 4 clear parts, and by day 4, you were already handling habits, negatives, and full questions with do and does. So day 5 is all about describing states from every angle, simple current states, temporary behavior, states actively changing. For example, I'm tired. I'm being difficult today. I'm getting hungry. It was getting dark. I've been busy all week. I had been late, and I'll be better soon. By the end of this video, you'll have the full toolkit for describing how things are, how they were, how they're changing, and how they'll be. Let's get into the lesson. The first pattern is the simplest one. Be plus an adjective to describe a current state. I am tired. I am happy. She is bored. This describes a state as it is right now, a simple, flat fact about how someone feels with no sense of change or timing attached at all. Being plus an adjective, temporary behavior. Closely related to this is a pattern that often surprises learners. Being plus an adjective used with am, is, or are to describe temporary behavior rather than a permanent state. I'm being serious right now. You're being really helpful today. He's being difficult about this. Notice the difference in meaning. He is difficult describes his general personality, a lasting trait, but he is being difficult describes how he's behaving right now. This pattern works especially well for calming down a tense moment or gently pointing something out without sounding harsh. Instead of saying, "You're rude," which sounds like a permanent judgment of someone's character, saying, "You're being a little rude right now." Get, become, a state in motion. Now here's where it gets more interesting. The next pattern uses get or become plus an adjective, and this describes a state that is changing, moving from one condition toward another. I am getting tired doesn't mean you are simply tired, it means tiredness is increasing, building up right now. It's getting late means lateness is increasing. I get hurt pretty easily when I fall describes a general tendency to move into that state. Don't worry, I'll be better soon looks ahead to a future state once the change has finished happening. Become works similarly but sounds more formal and tends to describe bigger permanent shifts. She became a doctor. While get handles the small, everyday, real-time changes. I'm getting hungry. He's getting better at English every week. We're getting close to the deadline. Now let's add a pattern that connects the past directly to right now. Have been or has been plus an adjective, describing a state that started in the past and continues up to this present moment. I've been busy all week. She's been sick since Monday. We've been friends for years. Notice how this is different from simple be. I am busy is just true right now, but I've been busy all week tells the listener the state has been continuous, stretching from some point in the past right up until now. This pattern is extremely common in everyday conversation, especially when someone asks how you've been or what's been going on lately. Was getting, were getting, a change in a past scene. Next, let's look at a change happening at a specific moment in the past, using the past continuous form of get, was getting or were getting plus an adjective. It was getting dark when we left the house. I was getting worried, so I called him. This paints a picture of something changing gradually right in the middle of a past scene, almost like you're setting the atmosphere of a story rather than simply stating a flat, completed fact like it got dark. And now, a pattern for describing a state that had already existed before another point in the past. Had been plus an adjective. I had been late twice that week, so I left early the next day. By the time I arrived, the meeting had already been going on for an hour. This reaches one layer further back in time than your main story, explaining what was already true by that earlier point, perfect for giving background or context behind something that happened. A quick note on position. Before we move on, it's worth mentioning briefly that this same simple word, be, also handles position and location, not just feelings or states. I am here. I was there yesterday. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I am with you. Same small verb, same simple structure, subject plus a form of be plus a place or a person, just describing where someone is, was, or will be instead of how they feel. Let's hear a full, natural conversation using everything we've covered today so you can hear it in context. Person A: Hey, you look a little off today. Everything okay? Person B: Yeah, I've been pretty tired all week, and honestly, I'm getting a bit run down. Person A: I get that. I was getting worried about you yesterday, actually, since you seemed a little quiet. Person B: Sorry about that. I had been dealing with a lot at work, and by the time I got home, I was completely wiped out. Person A: No worries at all. Don't apologize. Just don't push yourself too hard. I'm sure you'll be better once the week is over. Person B: Yeah, I think so too. Honestly, I know I've been a little off lately. Person A: Hey, whatever you need, I'm with you. And if you need anything tonight, just call. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Seriously. Person B: That means a lot. Thank you. I think I'll just get some rest and call it an early night. Notice how naturally the small conversational touches blend right into the grammar, like I get that, no worries, wiped out, meaning extremely tired, and call it an early night, meaning to go to bed early. These are exactly the kind of casual expressions native speakers drop into real conversation constantly, sitting comfortably right alongside all 7 of the state patterns we've been building, without ever needing a separate list to understand what they mean in context. Here's your practice for today. I want you to build a short set of sentences out loud describing one single feeling, like tired, happy, or nervous, using as many of today's patterns as you can. Start with the simple state, I am. Then try temporary behavior, I'm being. Then the change in progress, I'm getting. Then the continuous state, I've been. Then, if you can, a past scene, I was getting or I had been. And finally, a future state, I'll be. Once you've practiced, comment below with at least 3 of these sentences, all describing the same feeling, so you can see for yourself how flexible one simple emotion becomes once you have all these patterns available. Combine this with everything we've built over the last 4 days, and your English now carries real texture. Not just facts, but states, changes, timing, and even temporary behavior, layered together the way a fluent speaker naturally thinks and talks. Tomorrow, on day 6, we're going to build directly on this and start working on how to naturally use have, get, and a few other small but powerful verbs that show up constantly in everyday spoken English. Verbs that carry far more meaning than their simple dictionary definitions suggest. For now, practice today's patterns a few times out loud, comment below, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 6.